Huh? A part-time job? What kind of poor family are you from? Like this, my mother-in-law Dolores laughed and disrespected my mother by saying such horrible things. I can't ever forgive Dolores for saying such things. How dare she insult my precious, loving mother? I will definitely make Dolores fully regret what she said about my mother, and even making fun of my mother. My name is Maisie. I am 30 years old, and I work in a company. I have been married to my husband, Kyle, for 2 years now. We first met due to work. My husband is a very honest and diligent worker, and I relied on him a great deal when we had to work together. As we worked together, I became more and more attracted to him, and we grew much closer through our work. We started seeing each other privately and officially began to go out. He planned many wonderful dates for me and took me to many places. I was happy that he took the time to do so much research and planning wonderful dates, and I grew to like him more and more. Then, 2 years into our relationship, he proposed to me, and we decided to get married. I was so happy that he, whom I loved so much, asked me to marry him. After we married, we started living together, and my husband was very kind and supportive, and did his share of the house chores with me. And because of this, it allowed me to concentrate on my work. My husband also cooks whenever he has the time, which is really helpful. My husband and I both work, so thanks to this, we have a very stable lifestyle, and we have a lot of fun while traveling around on our days off. Even after 2 years of marriage, we are still very much in love, and we are both really happy. But of course, there are some problems, even though it has nothing to do with my husband. For me, the issue I have is my mother-in-law, Dolores. Unfortunately, Dolores does not seem to like me, and she has been picking on me every time I see her since the beginning of my marriage to Kyle. Oh, Maisie, when are you going to quit your job? Huh? I have no intention to quit my job. And why is that? Normally, a wife should become a full-time housewife just to support her husband. Oh, please, don't tell me that you make Kyle do some of the house chores. What? Well, we both work, so of course. We share the house chores. I cannot believe this. I would never allow such a thing. Dolores shouted from the top of her lungs as she said that. In a panic, my husband flew in and said, "Mom, what's going on?" and came into our conversation. And after understanding what had happened, he says to Dolores, "I was the one who agreed to the idea of sharing the house chores with Maisie. Please, don't butt into our marriage, Mom." And from then on, Dolores stopped talking. But after that, Dolores became even more harsh and strict to me. I knew that people who skip house chores are not very good at it. You're definitely bothering Kyle by cooking terrible meals, aren't you? Do you even put poison into the meals that you cook, or what? Whenever I visit my in-laws for Thanksgivings or New Year's and help Dolores with the cooking, She always insults me in the kitchen like that. I thought it was really annoying, but I also thought it was better to show up at family gatherings, so I listened patiently to Dolores' sarcastic comments. Dolores, a coward that she is, would abuse me at times when Kyle and my father-in-law, Don, were not around. I am sure that after my husband had warned her before, she decided it was not a good idea to criticize me in front of him. I tried to ignore everything she was saying, but the harassment from Dolores was slowly taking a toll on my mind. Recently, my husband and I brought souvenirs from our trip to my parents-in-law's house, and Dolores would say something that made me very angry. Don had just gone out and was not home at the time, and my husband had gone to the bathroom. Dolores took advantage of this and began to abuse me verbally, as usual. You really are a useless wife. Didn't your mother ever teach you how to do any house chores? My mother taught me how to do house chores while she worked, you know. When I said this, being annoyed at what Dolores had said, she grinned and began to say this to me. So, your mother wasn't a housewife, huh? That explains why you do your house chores really terribly. By the way, what does your mother do for a living? I was getting angry, but tried to answer Dolores' question anyway. My mother has been working her part-time job. When I was about to continue on with my explanation, Dolores opened her eyes and shouted loudly. Huh? A part-time job? What kind of poor family are you from? Excuse me? I didn't think that you were so poor that your mother had to do that. I wonder if she earns a few bucks every day by doing some small, tedious tasks like buttoning eyes onto a doll or something. Well, it's actually probably fitting that she's your mother. Well, it sucks to have a poor family like yours. Like this, Dolores laughed at my family and my mother and looked down on her. I couldn't forgive Dolores for insulting my precious mother, and it was then that I came up with a plan. I would definitely make Dolores regret for what she said about my mother and for making fun of my family. A month later, there was a family reunion and everyone gathered at my parents-in-law's house. This time, everyone gathered to celebrate my father-in-law's sister, Linda's birthday. Since Don had inherited their house from my late grandfather-in-law, it was easier for everyone to gather at Don and Dolores' house than at Linda's house, so it had become the place for all the relatives to gather. I had heard that Dolores truly respected and admired Linda very much. I wanted to take advantage of that and make Dolores feel embarrassed. Maisie, my husband's sister is here today, so please behave and don't be rude. Yes, I understand. Dolores was more enthusiastic than usual and took the initiative in preparing for Linda's birthday party. And because of this, Dolores was too busy to even bully me like she would normally. It was most likely that Dolores was more interested in making sure Linda's birthday was celebrated by many people. Then the preparations were over, and Linda and her husband and all the relatives came over to Don and Dolores' house. Oh, Linda, happy birthday. This is your birthday present. Here you go. Oh my, what a wonderful bag! Thank you, Dolores. Dolores looked really happy to be thanked by Linda like that. What Dolores gave Linda as her present was a luxurious brand bag. I greeted Linda after Dolores greeted her. A long time no see, Linda. I'm Maisie, Kyle's wife. Oh my, long time no see, dear. How have you been? I've been well, and every day living with Kyle has been fun. Thank you. Happy birthday, Linda. If you'd like, please accept this birthday present from me. As I said this, I gave Linda my present, which I prepared for her. It was a leather card case. Seeing this, Dolores interrupted our conversation and began to panic. Oh, Maisie, what kind of present are you giving to Linda? Excuse me? It's rude to give such a no-brand cheap thing as a present to Linda. You better hurry up and put it away now. Dolores raised her voice like that, which took me by surprise.
Hey, what are you talking about, Mom? It's too much to talk like that about something that Maisie went to the trouble of preparing.
Kyle, please just shut up for today. It's Linda's birthday, so you have to give her something more appropriate. Like that, Dolores' selfish outbursts did not stop. Then, Linda began to say something that made Dolores shut her mouth. Dolores, please shut your mouth. Huh? Saying that, Linda is taking a good look at the leather card case I gave her. This is very nice and a really good quality. As a leather goods buyer for many years, I have seen many other products, including brand name products, but this one is so carefully made and the design is so beautiful and exquisite. Who made this, Maisie? That person must be a very skilled craftsperson. I gave a huge grin, since I knew that this was going along with my whole plan. And then I proudly said this in front of Dolores and everyone else. This piece was made by my mother. Oh my, your mother? That is just amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sure that my mother would be very happy knowing that you're happy with it. Will you tell me your mother's name? My mother's name is Alberta Shaw. What? Could it be that your mother is that famous leather craftswoman, Mrs. Shaw? Yes, that's right. Linda looked at me all surprised as her eyes widened. I never thought I'd be able to get a piece from Mrs. Shaw. And I never would have guessed that my nephew's wife is her daughter. Wow, what a tremendous connection. Thank you so much. I will take very good care of this card case. Oh, no. I'm just really glad that you are happy with it. Dolores watched the conversation between Linda and I, and gradually her face was turning pale. Then Linda shifted her eyes to Dolores. Dolores, what were you doing earlier on? Huh? You were quite rude to Maisie, weren't you? No. Maisie, does Dolores always behave like this towards you? Since Linda had asked me that question, I nodded strongly as I answered. It seems that Dolores here does not like me at all, and she always picks on me, her own daughter-in-law, and lashes out at me in a terrible manner. What's more, she has also insulted my mother and my family by calling her poor. When I said this, all my relatives looked at Dolores really coldly.
Oh, Dolores, what a trivial thing you're doing, bullying your own daughter-in-law.
Oh, no. That's all a misunderstanding. I don't bully or pick on Maisie.
Well, I know you're lying. You look really awkward and you have shifty eyes. I can easily imagine it from your attitude you just had towards Maisie just now. And I'm just really disappointed to hear that you're actually doing terrible things. I wouldn't be happy at all to receive a present from someone like that. So, I'll just give this back to you.
Saying this, Linda returned her present, which she received from Dolores earlier on. And seeing how everything had happened like this, Dolores was really disappointed at the situation and at how Linda, whom Dolores had really respected, has rejected her present. And both Dawn and Kyle were outraged when they learned that Dolores was bullying me.
Hey, what's the meaning of this, Dolores?
Oh, Mom, come on.
Please, give me a break. Didn't you learn your lesson the last time I warned you?
Dolores was blamed by everyone around her all at once, and she left the party quickly as if to escape from the situation. After that, my mind was in peace since Dolores left and Linda's birthday party went on and we all had a great time. Later, when Dolores came back home, she was supposedly scolded by Dawn. My father-in-law then told me,
"If you ever get picked or bullied by Dolores again, I have already told her that I would divorce her if it happens again the next time. So don't hesitate and report to me, okay?"
My husband also said,
"The next time it happens, please make sure to tell me, honey."
And after that, Dolores came to me and said, "I'm really sorry for being so horrible to you all this time." She also apologized for insulting my mother. I still haven't forgiven Dolores about what she said and what she did. But since Dawn and Kyle are both on my side, and that Dawn would divorce her if she ever bullies me again, well, I'll never know if she might bully me secretly like she did. I'm just going to let things play out for now and how Dolores would act. And now I will continue to live happily with my husband, getting along with him as I do normally. I think Dolores has dug her own grave in front of someone she respects as a result of bullying Maisie. And as a result, Linda rejected Dolores, and I felt better that Dolores got what she deserved. I'm also glad that Maisie had Dawn and Kyle on her side. I hope Maisie and her husband continue to get along and live happily ever after. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video. My name is Astrid. I am 34 years old and I am a full-time housewife. I married my husband Ben 7 years ago, and now we currently have 2 daughters and live as a family of 4. Both my daughters, Maya and Millie, are really cute and adorable, and I am very happy that I get to be with them every day. My husband is very busy at work and comes home late at night, but he provides for the family, and I do my best to support him as much as I can. Of course, we argue at times, but we're not that bad as a married couple. Our life together as a family of 4 is basically peaceful. However, there's one issue that I just can't stand, and that is my mother-in-law, Francine. Francine is a typical terrible mother-in-law type, and from the very beginning of our marriage, I was being bullied by Francine as her daughter-in-law. Oh, Astrid, what is this meal? It's so tasteless. Francine would put more salt and broths in my cooked dishes. But if Francine does that, it doesn't bring out the flavor of the ingredients at all, does it? But she didn't care about such things whatsoever, and poured mayonnaise, sugar, salt, and so on into my cooked dishes as if it was just a normal thing to do. But if I had made all the meals according to Francine's taste, it would have tasted too strong, and I wouldn't be able to eat it much. This happened frequently whenever I visited my parents-in-law's house. And Francine kept pressuring me from the beginning of our marriage, chanting like a spell, "Are you pregnant yet? Are you pregnant with my grandchild yet?" She stopped saying that after the birth of our daughter, but after the birth of our second child, she began to say another terrible thing. "Still no heir? If you're not pregnant with a boy, then there is no point of you being my eldest son's wife. When are you going to have your third child? If you don't give birth to a boy, you being my eldest son's wife is worthless. My goodness, you really are a useless wife. If you don't give birth to a boy, your existence is just pointless." I've just had enough of Francine's ridiculous comments. No matter what Francine says, she always ends it with the phrase, "If you don't give birth to a boy, your existence is just pointless." I mean, I had 3 boys. How pathetic can you be? There must be something wrong with you, right? Why would Francine say such terrible things to me? I have 2 daughters, so there's nothing wrong with me at all. And in what kind of generation does Francine live in, saying that the baby had to be a boy? Children are precious regardless of whether they are boys or girls. These thoughts grew and grew inside me. And when I could no longer stand it anymore, I talked to my husband about it. I can't stand Francine just bullying me. I don't want to go to your parents' house anymore.
Okay, I understand. You don't have to visit my parents' house anymore. But you should show up at least on Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Fine. I really didn't want to see Francine on Thanksgiving and New Year's, but as expected, my husband is the eldest son, so I had to attend in order to make my husband look good. But with these conditions in place, I was able to avoid being involved with my in-laws as much as possible. But a little while later, my husband started coming home much later than usual. He usually comes home around 8 p.m. because he is busy with work, but lately it has been around 10 p.m. My husband says that he is working overtime and going out drinking more often for work, but I am not sure what is really going on. Because of him coming home very late, my daughters have hardly seen him for a long time. Daddy's not coming home today either? He says he's busy at work. It's very late, so let's just go to sleep now, okay? My daughters seem to miss their father very much. So that's why I said this to my husband one day. Hey, can't you make a day when you can come home early? Even if it's just for a little while? Our daughters miss you so much. But my husband responded in a very irritated manner.
Huh? Who do you think I've been working this late for? I'm not playing around. You've been too easy on yourself lately, haven't you? You've been telling me about your issues with Mom.
Excuse me?
You just demand too much from me. If you're the housewife, you should take care of the kids and the house by yourself.
To be honest, I was surprised at how my husband got angry at me. I only asked him to spend time with our daughters in the first place. So why did he have to say that to me? Little by little, a rift began to form between my husband and I.
Then I had a chance to use Francine during Thanksgiving, and she was still picking on me. And Francine was not only bullying me, but also at her second son's wife and her third son's wife.
You all better get in the kitchen and start getting ready. Oh, you're so adorable, my little Timmy.
By the way, Francine's second son has a son named Timmy. Francine's third son just got married, so she hasn't mentioned anything about a child yet. Francine treats my daughters and her second son's son really differently. That I can even tell is discrimination. To my daughters, she would say, "Go play over there." And to Timmy, she says, "Aw, Timmy, come over here. You are very important, Timmy, since you'll be our heir." Francine's second son's wife, Lorna, and third son's wife, Callie, and I were a team just because Francine harassed all of us. She really changes her attitude so blatantly.
I didn't even want her to decide that Timmy would be the heir without my permission.
Yeah, that's really terrible, isn't it? The reason we are united includes the fact that our own husbands were not at all paying attention to us. Even though their own wives were being picked on, the husbands are completely oblivious to it, just drinking about and being lazy. They are happily talking with their relatives without any pressure compared to the pressure we have from Francine. And Francine was talking behind my back to her relatives.
My God, she is really too unaware that she is my eldest son's wife. And she really is a bad wife who can't get pregnant with a boy. Francine would make unbelievable comments like that, and Lorna, Callie, and I were all in a state of shock. We thought we were all we had, and we inspired each other to support each other if anything happened to any of us. And since then, the months passed by quickly, and now New Year's Day arrived. Francine continued to give orders to us wives and treat us like her slaves. Come on, hurry up and bring out these dishes. If someone finished their drinks, pour them a drink as soon as possible.
And she would hold Timmy in her arms and say,
"Ah, he's so cute. I'll let you all hold him too."
And she let all the relatives hug him. And on top of that, Francine, perhaps drunk, began to say unbelievable things really loudly.
"Why don't you leave your wife and get a new one then? The wife of an eldest son who can't give birth to a boy is just worthless."
To that, my husband agreed to her.
You're right, Mom. Maybe I don't need a wife like her.
When Ben and Francine both began to laugh, all the other relatives laughed in tune with them. We, the wives, were shocked, and we all thought, what a terrible family. Then Francine got carried away and said, "You should sign this already." And I don't know when she prepared it, but she took out the divorce papers and held them out in front of me.
"I don't want you in this house anymore. I don't want your granddaughters too, so you take them."
My husband just looks on with a smirk on his face. I didn't want to be with these people anymore. I thought it was my chance. So I said, "Okay, I'll sign." My husband and I both finished signing the papers, and to my surprise, the divorce was finalized at the New Year's gathering.
Now, I'll be able to live peacefully with no more hassles from you.
"You'll have to find a new wife soon, sweetie."
Ben and Francine both laughed like that. Lorna and Callie ran up to me and asked gently, "Are you alright?" "I'm fine now. I'm going to leave here first, but you guys should find a good time to escape too." As we were exchanging these words, my sister-in-law Winona, who was standing at the edge of the room, suddenly stood up. Winona was already married and living in the city, so I only saw her around the New Year's holiday. And since she would leave quickly after a quick visit, we didn't have much time to interact.
Since she always disappears early in the party, I thought she had already gone home. But it seems that she was still there, which was unusual of her. Good for you, Astrid. I'm so happy for you that you got to divorce my terrible brother. Excuse me?
Hey, how dare you say that to your own elder brother?
Shut up, you filthy cheater. My husband's face suddenly stiffens.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
I know everything. I know that you're having an affair, Ben. At that moment, everyone froze at the sudden statement made by Winona. Wait, what are you talking about, Winona? Don't embarrass your brother by saying ridiculous things. Well, this is the proof. Saying this, Winona puts photos of Ben with another woman in front of each relative's seat. Everyone was surprised to see the photos.
You? How did you even...
You're having an affair with a classmate of mine from high school, you know?
What?
It seems another classmate saw you at the scene and took photos for me. Well, now, you can't get away with this. Now that the divorce is finalized, you must pay alimony and child support to Astrid, okay?
No way.
To my surprise, thanks to Winona's unexpected help, I was granted a divorce, all due to my husband and his stupid affair. I think now is the time for you guys to decide, right? I think that maybe even if Astrid gets divorced first like this, Mom will keep on pressuring you both, you know? Winona called out to Lorna and Callie. Then both Lorna and Callie made up their minds and told their husbands how they felt. I hated that my child was made as the heir without my permission. And I hate you for agreeing with your mother. If you do as what Francine says any longer, let's just get a divorce.
What? Divorce?
If you don't like that, then just cut ties off with your family. If you're not going to cut any ties with your family, then I'm going to bring Timmy with me. I will never, ever let you meet Timmy again.
What the hell are you saying?
I don't want to be bullied by your mother anymore either. If I don't do anything now, she'll definitely say something about us having kids, won't she? You can either divorce me and stay with your family, or you can cut ties with your family. You choose.
What?
After an unexpected chaos, the relatives quickly left saying, "We're sorry to disturb you all, so we'll just leave for today." And they quickly left. What do you think you are both doing? I will never allow you all for divorce. It's not on you, Mom, to decide. It's all their decision. Oh, and I'll cut ties with his family too. That's why I came here today. No way! And so, Lorna and Callie pressured their husbands to make a decision. As it turns out, Ned and Steve have decided to cut ties with the family. Ned absolutely hated not being able to see his own son. And Steve decided to do that because he loves his wife. In the end, Francine was left with only Ben, who was in a huge debt. I received a large amount of alimony from my ex-husband and his lover, and my ex-husband is also paying me child support. And my ex-husband's lover hid the fact that she was married and refused my ex-husband's marriage proposal, saying that she could not marry Ben. So it seems like my ex-husband just became a divorced man who is hugely in debt. It seems that this has spread even in his workplace. And since he is not taken seriously by the woman anymore, he has no chance of getting married again at all. And as for my ex-mother-in-law, word has spread around the neighborhood that she has been abandoned by her sons and is being laughed at. It feels so great to know they deserved what they all got. As for me, I moved into the city where I was hired at my aunt's company, and I started living there with my daughters. Because of what had happened, I became close with Winona. Recently, I have been going out with Winona, who also lives in the city, for drinks once in a while, and taking each other's children to visit. I don't want to be in love for a while, so I will work hard and earn money to support for my daughters. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video.